All right, we're live.
Light turnout today.
Yes, we'll see if Chuck shows up. But
Nice, nice polo shirt there.
oh, thanks. Yeah,
I like it. Is that embroidered or silk screened?
it's embroidered. Yeah, I'm trying some. I've got
Very
some.
nice.
This one's like a Eddie Bauer one, but I just ordered like a Under Armour one, so I'm gonna see how that one works. I think that'll be even better.
Is that something you're thinking of selling then?
Possibly. I'm not sure. I'm trying to figure out, like, I've got I have a Teespring store for Bulldog Mindset, and I only set that up because they like offered with YouTube that, to integrate it into your YouTube channel, right? So it shows up right below. And I made a bunch of products on there, and it's weird. Like, it shows underneath the YouTube like videos, but I've only sold like 4 in like months, right? There's like, if I look at the analytics, the views on it per day are like,
oh, there's Chuck.
Yeah, there's Chuck. It's like 20, 30 views a day, and it's only like, so
that's not a good conversion rate.
Yeah, well, and part of it is because it's more of generic. Like, I just designed like a shirt where it just has the logo on it, right? So it's kind of like what we did with the Trust the Process shirt. It's like we had a really good design for the shirt. It wasn't just the logo.
Yep.
So I think that's what I want to do. I'm probably just going to kill the Teespring. In fact, I'm just going to shut that off now, because that's probably just taking people away from YouTube, and it's not actually making any money. So
making live updates on the fly.
Yeah, I asked them to like reduce the price on it, but they're like, oh, like send a screenshot of which ones you want, and so yeah, I'm just gonna kill the whole thing.
Nice.
It's a waste.
I love those things that are too much work.
Yeah,
like I know you want to give me money, but I had a sponsorship deal that I've been working on forever, and I actually finally closed it last week, but he wanted me to do all this extra stuff, and I finally just went back to him and said, dude, if you want all this extra stuff, you have to sponsor at least 6 episodes of any of the shows you're sponsoring, or I'm not going to do it.
And what'd he say?
He comes back, he's like, oh, okay. And then he picked 3 shows and said 6 of these, 6 of these, and 6 of these. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah. Oh, I just got back from my run, so if I'm a little bit.
Oh yeah, how's that going? What's your running like right now?
It feels pretty good. I tend to want to go a lot faster than the pace that my coach has set for me.
Yep.
So, I think she said like a 17 to 18 minute mile, and I still averaged a 15-minute mile on my run today.
That's decent. Yeah, that's not bad. That's just for not right. But, what kind of distance are you doing? Like, what's your?
I'm getting about 2.5 miles in 40 minutes.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
So, and I'm doing intervals. I'm doing 6 sets of run 4, walk 1, with a warm up and cool down. So,
nice.
Yeah,
that will get you there.
Cool. Wait, so is your actual 2.5 mile run with intervals? Is that what you're saying? Or
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my watch does it. So I just get on, I tell it I'm going to do intervals, and then I start my workout, and then it just does the intervals for me. So when it buzzes, I start running or start walking. The only time I've screwed that up was I did my intervals on Tuesday at the gym, and I didn't look at my watch when it buzzed to cool down, and did another run. And then I was like, oh, crap.
Nice.
I just cooled down after that.
But, cool. That would be a pain on you on a treadmill then?
Yeah, it's freaking cold in Utah.
Yeah.
I mean, here it's 60-something degrees. It was kind of nice. I would have actually preferred it to be a little bit cooler than it is here, because I'm in Orlando, but yeah. I'm gonna go hear Manny speak here in a couple hours.
Cool.
But yeah.
Yeah, the humidity is tough on the.
Yeah, the humidity wasn't terrible today. I've been here when it's really, really bad.
Yeah.
I was down here for, what was it, Ignite? Microsoft Ignite? And I just walked from the hotel to the conference, which is basically from the Hyatt Place to the conference center. It's a good mile walk, I think. And the humidity was awful. I was drenched in sweat by the time I got to the conference center. But I'm too cheap to order a Lyft if I can walk a mile to get there. So anyway.
Yeah, probably is faster or almost faster.
Probably. I mean, they had shuttles earlier in the morning, but going over to the conference center for the keynotes is a waste of time. They stream them live, and I don't want to be crammed in that room with all those people. Sorry.
Yeah.
The other thing is that the first couple of years we went to Ignite and Build, they brought in me and another guy from JavaScript Jabber and 2 guys from iPhreaks, and so there were 4 of us. So I'd go to the keynotes and hang out with them during the keynote. But now they're just bringing me, so I'm like, I don't even have anyone to sit with. So
right, yeah.
You and 10,000 of your closest friends.
That's right. Well, and I've talked to Carl and Richard, and they both said that, sometimes they go, but most of the time they watch the live stream too, or they're working on other stuff. So I just figured, what the heck is the point? So yeah. Anyway, so how was your week, guys? I feel like I bogart the conversation when we start, and I want to make sure that you guys get your time in.
Don't worry about it. I launched the Bulldog Mindset membership community this week. So I had hired this guy from Morocco. I told you guys about Marwan.
I like your shirt, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I said that. That's what we were talking about when you came in. So I had just said that about 30 seconds
want one.
earlier.
I wear my Trust the Process shirt all the time.
Yeah, I gotta figure out. I'll probably end up manufacturing these ones, but I haven't started yet.
Manufacturing, meaning John's daughter is going to learn how to embroider, and she'll be down there.
I thought about actually having my kids. I've thought about ordering a bunch of boxes of shirts and stuff, and having my kids do the shipping on the merch and having them learn how to run that business. Right? We'd set up a separate business entity and teach them how to run it.
That's not a bad idea. Yeah, some slave labor.
Well, but, you teach them to be entrepreneurs and stuff. Anyway, sorry.
But yeah, so I launched it. So yeah, so I hired, actually officially hired Marwan, as he did pretty good so far. He's doing a good job. So, but he was basically in charge of launching the Bulldog Mindset membership. I wasn't even really sure I wanted to do it, but he's like, well, we could do this and I can handle it and I can make you money. So I said, well, okay, I can't really refuse that. Go ahead. And so it didn't require much on my part. I mean, there was a few things I had to do, but recording the sales videos and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So what we did was a 4-part sales, training, basically the launch formula. Jeff Walker, very, very similar idea. So essentially most people that signed up for the list, so we had about 2,500 people on the Bulldog list, and most of them signed up through the Bulldog quiz, which gives you a score, right? When you finish the quiz. And so what I came up with for the video training was I went through all 10 questions, right, in 3 videos, right? So went through 3 questions, 3 and then 4. And then the idea was it'll keep people going from email to email, to watch the videos because they want to watch all the questions. So that created that, the open loop type of thing there. So gave them the basics on why those questions were important, right? Some very basics on how to raise your score, but always hinting towards video 4 is where I'll tell you how to really raise your score, right? You can't do this overnight, right? And then video 4 is the sales letter. It's a VSL where I basically pitch the membership, you know, basically say that that's, you know, this is the way to really raise your score, and you know, you need to have mentors in life, and like, you know, have a pretty good sales pitch, and then launch. And then so the Bulldog Mindset membership, what we included in it was one premium video per week. So that'll go in depth on topics that I can't really talk about on YouTube. Some of them, like, and then one Q&A call per month, right? So a live stream, and then a Bulldog book club. So we'll be reading a book every month, and then there'll be some notes on that, and then access to a Facebook group, the Bulldog Community Facebook group. Right. So that's basically it. And then we made the offer for $20 a month for the first 100 people to join.
Was it 20 even or 19?
I was 19. It was like,
Okay.
19. I basically said 20 in the VSL, but
Okay.
but when they saw the price, it was 19. And then
5% discount.
Yep.
Act now.
Better to be pleasantly surprised when you click the.
Yeah. Well, it's like on Amazon when you see it's like you can save 7 cents if you apply this coupon.
Yeah, I feel like when you say 1995, it sounds scammy.
Yeah.
But when you see it,
here's a gimmick. It's really $20.
Yeah, it looks better though when you see it, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're like, oh, I'm going to buy this, but when someone says it, if I say 1995. They're like, okay, it sends off the alert signal. So I just said $20.
With shipping and handling.
Right. So 100 people get in, and then we're raising the price. And then the pitch was that you'll have $20 a month for the first 6 months. And then it goes up to the regular price of $67 a month. And so, so that was what we did. And then we opened the doors and sent some follow-up emails, maybe like 3 or 4, and we sold out in just over 24 hours.
Oh wow.
So yeah, we actually ended up getting 101 members in there because someone snuck in there, but we shut it down. And then so not too bad. So that's like $2,000 a month of recurring revenue right there. And then what we did was, I'm going to raise the price $10 every time. I'm basically going to do the same strategy that Podcast Paradise, right? The Podcaster's Paradise that John Lee DeMusk did, right? He basically did this, right? He kept on raising the price on it. So what I did was I created a video. I decided to just let everyone have $20 a month lifetime, right? That was kind of my surprise to them. So I created a video in the membership, like one of the first video, and I basically recapped exactly what they're getting and talked about, you know, all the stuff that's coming down the pipe, and then told them the special gift I was giving them, which is that they were going to get lifetime grandfathered access for $20 a month. So nice. That should greatly increase the stick rate on those original members. Because
how do I get in on that now that I know about it?
You get special guest access, Chuck. No, if you want to join,
how that goes.
Yeah,
this is Chuck. He's special.
I'll put you in there if you want to get in there. So
yeah, that'd be cool.
Free. Okay, yeah. Just send me an email so I don't forget. Otherwise, I'll forget it. But yeah. So that's basically. So then So I released that video, and people were super excited. The engagement level was insane. I got like, I think like 60 comments on that video. People were super psyched about that. So then what I did was I had write up an email telling everyone that we sold out all 100 seats and that it was a super success and you missed it. And we're going to reopen it again, you know, in the future, but it'll be higher price. And, you know, there's a lot of people that are requesting to reopen it now. If you want it reopened now at the $30 a month price, if we get enough emails, we'll open it, and we'll only offer it to the people that email us. So, and then I had him include a link to the video that I gave the members describing everything they get, and that they got the $20 grandfathered price, right? So to really hit the, oh, you missed out on this but you better not miss out on the $30 if you get a chance. So sent that out, and we've gotten probably about 10 emails from people that want the $30 that are basically committing to sign up. So we'll probably open it just to those and let those people in. And then the next time we launch it, we're going to launch it at $30, right? And now all those people on the list have seen this, right? And now when we do a launch at $30, they're going to be like, okay, they're serious. First of all, they capped it, they raised the price, and we'll probably only let 100 people in at $30 a month at that point, and then we'll just keep on raising it. I imagine we'll probably go up to $50 a month will be where it'll cap out at, and then that'll be the price. But not too bad. I mean, for the list size being only 2,500 people, that's pretty good to cap out at the 100 members, right? If we would have pushed it, we could have probably gotten 150 members in there if we would have just kept on going. But yeah, not too bad. I'm pretty happy with the results there. And then there's like a lot of things I was just thinking about. Like, I mean, this is a really excited group. Like, people are posting like crazy and they're super excited about this. But there's a lot of ways that this becomes more than just a $20 a month program, right? Because, you know, one of the things is like people are signed up in order to learn about how to build businesses and make money, and how to get in shape and all these things. And so, you know, and we're doing the book club, right? So obviously we can sell, you know, books, you know, that we're gonna but that's not a big deal. But what is better is that I'm going to do some videos on creating online business, right? And what I'll be able to do is probably get a pretty high opt-in rate from members on getting a Bluehost referral, right? So I would anticipate about 25% of the members will buy Bluehost, right? When I do the video on that, saying, okay, this is a lesson. Like, this is step one. Go and do this now. Go sign up for a Bluehost account. Go create your website and then post it here, right? So there's a lot more ways to. It's really like Marwan he's young. He's like 21 years old. He's like in Morocco, but he's pretty good on, like, he's read a lot of marketing books. He's been following a lot of the guys that are doing some of this stuff. So he's got some really good ideas. Like, I have to come in and kind of, like, you know, rein in some of his ideas, but he's got some ideas. Like, when he was pitching the membership to me, he was like, this is like the reason why I want to build the membership is not really for the, you know, 20 or 50 bucks a month that we get from the membership, but from the things that you can do with, like, if you have this tribe of people that is so connected to you, that's watching these videos, that's paying $20 a month, when you launch a $1,000 program to that audience, they're going to buy it. Like, you're going to have a super high conversion rate, and you're going to be able to, you know, sell them other things through that, which I hadn't ever really thought about through membership.
Well, you also have a high touch group that you can beta test stuff with, right? So you can go in, like you're saying, and say, okay, here's how you set up a blog, blah, 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 blah. And then, you know, you get them most of the way through, and you realize, yeah, there's definitely a product here because they're eating it up, right? Yeah. So the people who didn't buy in, a bunch of them are a lot like these folks. So, yeah, so then you can put together a course or something on it and sell it.
Yeah. So pretty dang successful, I'd say, for the launch on that. And then, you know,
what platform are you using for it?
So ClickFunnels for the like sales pages and landing pages and stuff, and then Kajabi for the course delivery. So Kajabi actually has its own, like, sales pages and landing pages and stuff, but we just copied what, like, some of the top people were doing. Like, I think Dan Locke is using. What's that?
Does it have a forum or anything for people to communicate in or anything?
That's a Facebook group.
That's it. Yeah. So Facebook for that. So it's not all in one place, but there's just no great all in one place solution, I don't think. And, you know, Kajabi is good for the course delivery. I mean, you can do comments on the videos and stuff, and the lessons and stuff like that. Right. So it's it's working so far. So.
Cool.
And then we're gonna switch from Drip to ConvertKit because Drip pissed me off.
Uh-oh.
We sent some email, like, it just, like, there were like emails that weren't completely filled out on the workflow, and they ended up getting sent. And so there were emails that said, like proof of value here, add proof of value, talk about how missing out or something like that. And so I had to lecture Marwan on it too.
Have you ever seen the TED Talk on how to give a TED Talk?
I'm not sure. No.
It's worth watching. It's like, he goes through and he like narrates. You know how like when you do a script, like a movie script or something, they'll be like, pause here. Like he goes through and he narrates the whole TED Talk, and it's brilliant. He's like poignant pause here. And it's like, yeah, it's definitely 10 minutes well spent.
That's funny. Okay, I'll have to check that out. But yeah, so it's pretty good. And then we've got like the sponsorship for the soap company, right? Which I think they're actually probably going to cancel their sponsorship, because I heard from the guy, he's like, you're not selling lots of soap. And it's like, okay, I guess you didn't get the point. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I've been getting a lot of sponsorship requests in there, and I'm just telling, I got a hosting company that wanted to pay me 50% up front and 50% after the videos were published. And I was like, nope. And they're like, well, are you like, and I was like, nope, that I don't care how much you're paying me. I'm not, it's all up front. So then they finally said, okay, yeah, we'll do it. So
that was my experience on the smaller sponsors, is that they were not worth the effort. It was like, it was sort of like, if they were only willing to pay $1,000 a month one time.
Yeah.
And if they had a small, like if their product was like a small ticket item, it wasn't gonna happen. So
yeah, just not worth it unless it's gonna move the needle enough. So that looks pretty promising, I would say, with the membership. And I think, like I said, I think the stick rate's going to be really high. And I didn't intend to I did not want to we've had this discussion on here about doing automated. Like, I don't want to do manual stuff. And so now, but when I think about it, it's like for the membership, all that I'm doing really is just one premium video a week. Right, which I'm already recording videos anyway for YouTube, and then one Q&A session. So it's really pretty easy to do. I decided it'd be worth it. Yeah. If we want to do that for the simple programmer, I would do something like that too, if we could. But I did learn, definitely some lessons here, which is I really like the video sales approach. Like that worked really well. It made sense too, because it's the format that I'm best at, right? So, and it was super effective. Our on-page conversion rate was like 23% on the sales page, which is just insane, right? That's a really good conversion. So I'd like to try that with Simple Programmer. In fact, I want to do. We're creating a funnel for our Interview Cake, like that promotion, and hopefully next week I'll have the time, but I intend to do it this week. I'm going to create a funnel that we can test that will be like that sales. In fact, what I've got, Josh, is so video one. So the funnel would be like basically how to ace your programming interview, one of those, whatever topic wins on the opt-in. And then it'll be 3 video series, the 3 interview elements. The first one will be language and technology questions, and then the second one will be soft skills questions, and then the third one will be, you can guess what the third one is.
Data structures and algorithms.
That's it. Yep. Coding algorithm questions, and the sales pitch, right? And I'll talk about like how you really need to know these. Like, it's great if you know the first 2, right? But the thing you really, really need to know that takes time and that I can't just give you in 2 videos is how to solve algorithms and data structures and understanding that. And here's the best tool that you can use to do that. Bam, send them over to Interview Cake. And I bet we'll
did a rant on why employers shouldn't be asking those questions.
Oh yeah,
you did?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we'll see who goes viral first, and then. if you beat us and go viral with that, then we're screwed.
But you see what my response, because I get that all the time, Chuck, but my response is basically this. Sure, yeah, I agree with you, but it doesn't matter what we think. If interviewers
it's so true.
If they're asking those questions,
people have to know it. Yep.
Exactly. So,
Yep.
But yeah, I think that'll have a pretty high conversion rate. I think we could sell that pretty well, especially we put the opt-in, we put a lock. I put a lock on the on the blog post that is getting all of our traffic on the top 50 interview questions. So in order to see the questions, it has a Thrive lock on it. So you have to sign up your email, and we're getting like a 4.5% on-page conversion on the lock, and then that's in addition to the pop-up that's on the page, which is converting at about 3%. So on that page, Josh, we're getting like 7.5% conversion.
I was looking at that. I think that lead page or Thrive leads is double counting. I think they're counting both of them, because if you actually look at the number of signups that are coming through, it's about 4.5% total of the page traffic.
Oh, interesting. It could be.
So,
that could be.
Yeah, it's like we're getting around 80 signups a day. So that's like a net of about 50 over what we were getting before, because we had the regular pop-up was like around 1.5%.
Yeah.
So yeah, the on-page thing definitely, that lock worked pretty well for this.
Yeah.
I'm keeping an eye on, I want to see how, if we're getting good quality email addresses. So I'm keeping an eye on the engagement. Actually, let me check on that right now.
Yeah, it'd be good to check I don't know if you can do a query on that tag that I put on.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
And then their open rate.
That's what I'm just going to look at lead score.
Okay, because that'll basically give you open rate.
Do you think that converts better than just putting it in a lead magnet and having them join the list to get?
It definitely converts better. The question is going to be whether people are putting in fake stuff or not. Like, whether we're getting good emails. Yeah, it's definitely converting a lot better, though. I mean, yeah.
One thing that I did to kind of prevent the fake emails is I said in there also, like, if you look at the actual, I basically said that I would send you an additional bonus as well, right? So,
okay. Yeah. So then they're looking for your email.
Right. So you got to have something that, otherwise it's just an email lock. So let me see exactly what I said here, but
yeah, because they're basically, I'm a little skeptical of whether people will, how cooperative they're going to be when they're basically being forced to do something extra for something that they thought they were getting for free.
Well,
that makes sense, because it's a blog post versus signing up for a bonus.
Well, there's a couple of things. So here's how I have it. It says, the first thing it says on the pop-up or the lock is premium content, right? So again, it's like you're getting like, I want to set the narrative that you're getting access to what would be premium content on our site, right? And all you have to do is join the free community to see so it says, like, sign up to join the free community to see the answers, and I'll send you the guaranteed way to ace your programming interview. You don't want to miss this. So that's the interview cake funnel. So we'll see. I mean, it's not going to be perfect, but what are you seeing on the lead scores on these people?
So far, we've got 117. I can see how many people have opened emails. So let me check at that. So 117 people signed up so far. And I'm going to see how many people opened the first email that they got okay, so 117 and opens is 18. So that is 10% open rate, yeah, on the first email. No, 15%.
Oh, okay.
That's 15%. And then let's see about the second email. That one has kind of a vague subject line, so that might get a little higher.
I just got a text from my father-in-law that says, "You're basking in the sun while we're sitting in the snow. Hope you feel bad."
So the second email is getting a 23.9% open rate.
Oh wow, that's good.
So and that one just, the subject line's kind of vague. It's just, "This is so cool."
Yeah.
So for our regular leads, we usually would see like a 40 to 50%. So that's definitely seems lower than usual, but
it's not terrible.
It's not terrible.
Some of them also are new, haven't actually gotten, like, are you only looking at the ones who have gotten the email yet? Because they won't get it until the following day if it's past 10 o'clock.
Yeah, that's a good. So. Well, let's see how many have received. Oh yeah, that gets a little hard to. So of the 28, let's see. That might be a big part of the difference. This is really slow for some reason. Okay, so 77, so 28 over. Okay, that's a little more like it. That's a 36% on that one. And probably a 20-something% on the first one. So that's a little better.
Yeah, okay.
So we'll just have to see how that shakes out. But it looks good so far. I mean, it definitely has helped. I think it's about 30 new signups a day that we're getting from that.
Yeah. I'm hoping to get somewhere between like a 5 to 10% conversion rate on those signups to Interview Cake if we do it well. And I think it's possible to do it. So
cool.
So for the membership, for this month, I would kind of like to mirror what you've got on Bulldog Mindset on the Simple Programmer side. I mean, that would be, if we could add that stuff in, I think that would help quite a bit. I posted that question about like what could we do? Did you see that, John? I posted a question like, what could we add to the membership to make it more valuable?
You do have a forum for that one, right?
Yeah, we do.
The programmer membership.
Yeah, and we've gotten 9 replies to that so far.
What are people mostly wanting?
Let's see here. So, okay. Yeah, we might have to. Well, somebody said like a Slack channel, and somebody's like, well, we already have one. A lot, like multiple people are saying more members.
More member. Okay.
Well, yeah, more involvement from us in the community. More access to more experts. Somebody suggested guests coming to the community to answer questions.
Yeah.
As soon as Josh or John gets involved in a discussion, the quantity and quality of posts rises a lot. I got something out of the community in the beginning. I was able to help a few members out, but now I feel a bit stuck. Somebody said, if it hadn't been for John, I'd probably be dead right now. Never made it further along in life.
Okay.
That's
way to go, John.
Some kind of reputation points. There, somebody else says there's a point system in place already. Book of the Month Club. That was something I was wanting to do. Josh or John could start a new thread weekly. That's actually a good idea.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea at all.
I think the community is good right now to make it outstanding in the best community. I'd assume that participation of Josh and John is required.
Well, I think that's why people are signing up for it in the first place.
Yeah. TLDR, the community is about people who want access to experts.
Yep.
So, I mean, I think if we added in the stuff that you're doing for Bulldog Mindset, John, I think that would help quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea. And I don't think it'll be, like I said, it's not that difficult to do. What I basically just had Marwan do is just tell me, what do you need from me, right? He's like running it, and then it's like, okay, well, I need this video, I need a video, you know, and he's giving me like the topics and ideas and stuff, and he's following the community, so he knows what they've got, so, or what they want.
Yeah.
And then I'm just teaching lessons through there.
One thing what would be, you could probably do like a video thread where you like kind of do a video that's a conversation starter.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea, actually.
You know what I mean? So get that idea from, I think it was Claudio suggested it. So you have a video that's basically only for the members. It's really a conversation starter. And then you get people, and then maybe you just watch that thread and chime in a couple times, right? Or Rodrigo watches it and compiles some questions, and then.
Well, what would be interesting too is if you did that, but then after like a week, you turn around and do another video as a response to that thread.
Yeah,
exactly. Yep. But okay, yeah. I mean, I'd be up for that. I mean, I think we should still do it. Well, this makes sense regardless, right? Because I was going to say we should still do our plan for the to do the career guide course like launch.
Yeah. But that's like a ways off.
And we still need a continuity program after that. So
right. Yeah. That's a ways off.
But you can also start, putting some of the ideas for that course into your membership to test them out and see which ones really stick, which ones really resonate. And that can then go into your sales pipeline and things like that. And, you can start figuring some of these pieces out now.
Yeah.
As far as what people really resonate with.
I'm reading a real good book, by the way. That's one-page marketing plan.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
I just listened to that on Audible. Super good.
Did? Yeah, it's like super condensed, everything you need to know. Like really, really, I like, because it, like I said, how condensed it is. Of the information. But yeah.
I think.
Well, and it has a one-page dealio that you can use to kind of at least flesh out the broad strokes of your plan.
Mm-hmm. John, I've been thinking about the career guide thing, and we really should. I think what we should do with it is start with. Well, I mean, we have some idea of what maybe kind of flesh out what the course is going to be, the $300 course, but or outline it, but then start with a bunch of $7 front end products
to sell the course eventually?
Yeah, basically just try, because I think we're gonna have to try a few of them, and experiment, kind of like what we're doing. So we sort of started that with the interview bootcamp, where we're testing out front end offers, because that's going to give us a lot of feedback about how we can actually sell the thing.
Yeah, like which angle to
right. Yeah. And I mean, if we can sell something for $7 and it only costs us $30, then we have a winner. Like that funnel will work.
Oh, because you're saying the back end will be profitable, even though the front end will be a loss later. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, we'll have to experiment with that. I mean, we could try some direct sale and see. I think it'd be best to just start with like some direct selling of it. So obviously we would launch it to our list first and see how that goes.
Right.
But we could try running direct, a direct campaign and see what the conversion is. And if it's high enough already and it's profitable, then there's no need to bother. I mean, then we could still test either way to a tripwire and then see if we can get a higher conversion through there. If we do a tripwire, like I was thinking about it too, like one of the things that we really want to do with the tripwire is make it something where, like, if you're charging $7 for it, it's really easily worth, like, but it's short too, right? So it's consumable because they have to finish consuming it in order to actually buy the next thing. Like, at least, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, not if you've got a tripwire funnel in place, right? Yeah. I mean, if it's like one-click upsells, that's where the one-click upsells are where you have to get the one-click upsells working.
Yeah.
For this thing, or it's never going to work.
Kind of thing too, like with the, once I get the podcast stuff nailed down, I want to get the book and the book sales stuff nailed down. I really love the idea of the community too, like what John's been talking about, but I'm going to wait on that. But yeah, the idea of, okay, so you came in and you got the resume cheat sheet, and then it's, hey, do you want the, finding a job workbook for $15? And then, hey, do you want the, you got the workbook, you may as well get the ebook for $30. And then, okay, now that you've got that, do you want these couple of videos for $100? Yeah. And just, see how far they go up the chain before they opt out and just pay for what they ordered.
Yep. So
yeah, because I'm getting more and more convinced that you got to go for the initial sale on the front end, even and not just try to get email opt-ins, because the math just does not work. with how expensive Facebook is now, the math on getting email opt-ins and then nurturing them along just doesn't work.
Yeah,
you're not going to get an email subscriber for less than $3. And so that means you need a 1% conversion on a $300 product just to break even.
Right. Yeah.
To cold traffic. That just doesn't, like, it's really hard to do. I mean, I think you could do it if you were doing like a high touch funnel where it's like calls and stuff, which is what our Facebook team normally does. Is like they've got it's a lead generation for a call, like a 15-minute call, and then you either sell them the $2,000 coaching package or the $500 do-it-yourself version.
The high touch calls, though, they also set you up to gather information that you can use for your more general selling. So it's not a bad way to go if you can't figure out how to sell something.
Yeah, it's true. And especially if it's worth, I mean, if you have a big enough ticket, again, you can hire someone to do the high touch calls and pay them a commission and train them on it. And then it really doesn't matter, right? Like it, you can do the high touch stuff. It just has to be a high enough ticket, right? So, and I would imagine for, even if we do this, right, for the higher end, when we get to the, the $2,000 or $3,000 product, that we would want to do calls anyway. Oh, by the way, which brings me to an interesting thing. So I just recorded a podcast. Someone invited me on their podcast. It is, let me see if I can find the name of it. But okay, so this guy, I met him at Menfluential. Okay, I'd seen him around before. Like, I kind of knew.
I still love that name.
It's the worst. It's the worst name ever.
It is. It's the worst.
Worst name ever.
Sorry.
But I didn't really know what he was doing, and he kind of made a brand shift. It's Social Confidence Mastery. And when he introduced himself to me, he said, I teach soft skills to STEM.
Oh, no.
That's what he does. We help STEM professionals create meaningful connections. And
it's STEAM now.
So he's got a podcast, right? And then
okay, wait, hang. We just Chuck's
I know.
It is STEAM. That basically completely explodes the entire idea. Sticking the A in there, it's arts. Like,
it's passing a resolution
against
anti-Semitism. And anti-Islamism and blah 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 blah, right? Not that that's been done lately by any Congress in the world.
Sorry,
Anyway.
John. Go ahead.
So anyway, his thing is like I said, is he does social confidence, right? For mostly engineers and software developers, right? This is so it's perfect audience. So guess what his confidence product costs?
$2,000.
It's $3,000. He sells it. He does it on the phone. He sells on the phone, of course, but he's selling a $3,000 confidence product to software developers. So
nice.
It's definitely it's good. It means that it's definitely possible. He's also probably someone
What's his site?
What's his what?
What's his website?
Socialconfidencemastery.com. I'll just drop it in here, but
so if you want to sell something similar, what's he doing that you're not?
Well, I mean, he's doing high touch on it, and it's targeted. It's very focused. Like this is social confidence. So we could do that for sure. But it's also a good partner for us potentially to. We could probably sell his course, and he could probably sell our site. Well, his list isn't super big, but we could potentially do something where we send him leads, and then he closes the leads on the phone, and we sell his course. So I have to look at what his conversion rate and stuff is.
His website's not working.
What?
Social confidence mastery, not technical mastery.
Look at the link that I dropped in there.
That's. You see, I can never find the chat on. My gosh, there it is. Okay.
It's always up by default for me. Do you close it when you get in?
No, it's not working for me. So
what? That's weird.
It says error, too many redirects.
You've got some kind of weird thing going on.
He's got a reverse proxy set up so his kids can't watch social confidence mastery videos.
Yeah, it's not working.
Okay, well.
Could be just my DNS or whatever. But,
I wonder if it works here.
Yeah, do you know what how the course is structured, John?
I don't. I'll have to ask him and figure out. But yeah, he would be a really good one for us to do an affiliate deal with, right? Because he knows how to sell this to exactly our audience. So I'd want to ask some more questions. Yeah. Yep. See.
It's that Pennsylvania filter
program. Yeah, everyone from Pennsylvania. It's like you just got to block Reddit and then everyone from Pennsylvania.
Yep.
I did. That reminds me.
I didn't want to say anything, but
I was working for this one company, and there was this guy that was really annoying. He was this very liberal Democrat guy, and he would always be wearing his propaganda and reading the news all day at work on just liberal news stories and stuff. So so I wrote an HTTP
oh no
proxy server. I made my own proxy server that basically, it's real simple, right? You just basically, when you get a request, what it did, it worked like a filter, right? So what it would do is it would fetch the page, whatever the request was, and then I just did a search and replace, and I replaced the word Democrat with dickhead. And then I served the page back to him, right? So then when he left his computer unlocked one day, I went in there and I changed his internet browser to use proxy server. Put it to my proxy server. So everything as far as browsing the web, it was all normal, right? Because all I was doing was grabbing the request myself and sending it to him, except for one change was when it said Democrat, it said dickhead. And it's reading the news.
Did he say anything?
Oh yeah, he eventually was like, what did you guys do, right? And then we ended up wasting 3 days as I was teaching everyone how to make proxy servers. So
yeah, what we did, there was a guy that worked for me when I was at Mozy. I ran their support department for customers over the phone, troubleshoot Windows and crap. And there was a guy that he would spend all day surfing Facebook. So we went in and we edited the host file. And we edited the host file because we had built a web app in Rails that, you know, that all the requests ran through. So whenever he browsed to Facebook, it would redirect him back to the web app where we did our work. So not so subtle hint, right?
Nice.
Quit dicking around on the internet and get to work.
Yeah.
And he didn't say anything to anybody.
Nice.
Yeah. That's funny.
So this week's been kind of weird for me, just with the travel and everything. I got back and I feel like I got a bunch of stuff done when I got home. I made a bunch of contacts last week when I was at Codebeam, and so I just reached out to them. And yeah, things kind of have moved forward there. One thing that's interesting that I'd kind of like you guys to give me feedback on is one of my co-hosts on Adventures in Angular offered to take the show over. Like I would maintain all of the intellectual property rights, and it would remain on devchat.tv. He hasn't asked me anything about sponsorships or anything else. He just wants to, you know, he just offered to run the show because I've been rescheduling the regular times for the shows to open up more time in my week.
Yeah.
And anyway, so it would actually be really nice because I'm not as bullish on Angular as I was. I mean, I enjoy it. I love talking to people in the community. I've done enough Angular to kind of be dangerous, but you know, it would be nice to just free up that time so that I can, you know, work on the other areas I want to work in. And that's primarily, you know, again, just streamlining the stuff that I've been streamlining for the last while. I've kind of gotten refocused on that. Thanks, John. I'm not bored anymore. But yeah, so I don't really see a downside to it other than that I don't get as much exposure. I'm trying to decide what the trade-offs are for that. But for the rest of it, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I don't really see a huge downside other than, I mean, if he drops the ball, you can always step back in. So
yeah, if he drops the ball, I know what to do. I'll just jump back in. So
you've got all the process in place, and your assistant will be helping with all the booking and everything, right? So it's basically just like swapping out a figurehead.
Yeah, more or less. Well, and he wants to do it and get a little bit more exposure for the company that he's running because was it last year? He started a consultancy that does Angular. And so, you know, he's looking for that level of exposure. And so, yeah, I don't see any major downside. But the other thing is that I kind of want to start expanding into other areas and, you know, getting things out there like on YouTube and Instagram and things like that. And I haven't been able to prioritize it because I have to get the podcast stuff. That has to happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I don't see any downside to it. It makes sense to me. One thing that I kind of like, here's my what would have been my thoughts for the week, which is like but I'll say it now is the best way to make money is to have someone else make you money.
Yeah,
it's pretty big. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so because I realized that this week as I hired. You know, because I was like, oh, okay, you know, Bulldog Mindset, you know, I'm just going to grow the YouTube channel. Eventually I will make some money, right? When I have some time after I do the real estate, after I get Simple Programmer, like we work on that. And so, but then I realized, like, as I had hired this guy that was basically like wanting to do everything for me and like get this going. And I was thinking, oh, I want to like control this and make this perfect and everything. And hold on. But then as I let him just run with it, I realized that, you know, I'm paying him a very small amount of money to make me a much larger amount of money. And that's like, and when I think about like everything that has ever made me money, it's always someone else making me money. Right. So, yeah. So think about this. Like I should do a whole video on this. I'll have to make a video on making money.
I've been writing that stuff down all week. So I have I bought this Power List journal, and it has 5 daily tasks. Yeah. And then if you get them all done, then you circle the W. And if you don't get them all done, then you circle the L. So you either win or lose for the day.
Nice.
Yeah. And yeah, then I've been taking notes on all this stuff. So like yesterday, I won. it nearly killed me. I was up till 2 a.m., but I won. And then, yeah, so these are all notes on stuff that I need to do.
2 a.m., that's technically bled into the next day. So I think, Chuck, I hate to break it to you, but
no, I'm on Mountain Time. No, I'm on Mountain Time. That's midnight.
When you midnight.
It was still yesterday.
The day ends when you go to sleep. That's my rule.
Okay. I'll buy that too.
That's my rule. I've used that. I didn't fuck that rule.
But yeah.
But no, if you look at like, okay, so there's the money that I've made from my job, right? Mm-hmm. And that's probably the smallest amount of the money. But if you look at real estate investing, how do you make money from real estate? You make it from other people paying rent. Like you're making money off of other people, right? They're the ones, you're basically hiring them to make you money, essentially, brokers, real estate, all of this, like the investing is really essentially that. If you look at even like Pluralsight courses, I created the courses, but Pluralsight is selling them, right? They're the ones that are making me money. They're almost hired to make money. With Simple Programmer, again, like the things that caused the growth in Simple Programmer was the biggest growth. I think that made a huge difference was hiring, like getting Rodrigo on board, like because that changed the game, right? It made it so that all this, and then and
it was all the stuff you weren't doing at that point. Rodrigo on.
So it's like that's how you make money. So if you can get someone else to do the work,
well, the other thing is for
you're not even having to pay him. So
well, the thing is so I'm getting what I want because we're getting a quality show. I don't have to spend as much time. In fact, I think the quality of the show will go up because he's actually more plugged into the community than I am.
Right.
And so can talk about more of these things and manage more of those things than I will. So he'll bring in better guests and, they'll have different conversations than if I had set them up. But the other thing is that he's getting what he wants because he's raising the profile of his business, and that's where he's going to make the real money.
Yeah.
Right. Even if he wanted me to split sponsorship money with him, it's not going to be anywhere close to what he'll make by promoting his company. So
exactly. Yep. I like it.
So it seems like a win-win there. It also makes me think though, do I want to do the same kinds of things with some of these other shows? I still, I think Dave Kimura could run. So I probably won't. I'll probably stay on a couple of the shows, probably Ruby Rogues as well, because it's one of the bigger ones. But like the Elixir show and the React show and the Vue show are all still relatively small.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have a ton of expertise there, and I don't have the time to actually really gain a ton of expertise there. But then it would free me up to do all the other stuff on the back end. And then when I start building into some of these other platforms, then I can raise my own profile again until I, again, figure out how to bring people in and do it all over again. The other thing is it'll also give me time to create a lot more of these shows that people are asking me for around some of these other topics. So I think overall it's a win.
Mm-hmm.
I think, this is what I've been telling you all along is you should remove yourself from the shows for sure. Like that's.
Well, I've been kind of wanting to, but I also feel like in some cases, like I get cred when I do the sales calls on the sponsorships and things like that, because people have heard me and know who I am. And so I don't want to pull out completely.
Yeah.
But in the places where I'm not adding a lot to the conversation, I think I better serve pulling out unless I have to be there to make them run. So.
Yeah. I agree. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Oh, Josh, here's a real interesting thing for you. So on the Facebook group for the Bulldog Mindset membership, someone did a roll call and said, "Hello, everyone. What city are you in?"
Okay.
You want to hear the places? This is kind of interesting.
We are from Moscow,
Chicago, San Francisco, New York, Boston.
Okay, here, I'll give you the rundown.
Okay.
LA.
Okay.
Brighton, Australia.
Okay.
Porto, Portugal. Melbourne, Australia. Panama City, Panama. Philly. Nyamino, Canada. Toronto, Canada. Quebec City, Canada. Los Angeles. New York City. New Haven, Connecticut. Austin, Texas. Bangalore, India. Modesto, California. Boise, Idaho, San Diego, Old Town. What is ME? Is that
Maine? I think
Maine.
Yeah, Los Angeles, Detroit, Michigan, Philadelphia. Another. Let's see. Stockholm, Rifa, Kingdom of Bahrain, Lincoln, UK, Worthing, UK, Dublin, Ireland, Seattle, Washington, Lublin, Poland, Tangarog, Russia, Melbourne, Florida, Stuttgart, Germany, Munich, Germany, Oslo, Norway, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Los Angeles again, Cambridge, UK, New York City, Auckland, New Zealand, Boston, Amsterdam, Vienna, Austria, Montevideo, Uruguay. So I mean, there's not. I don't see China and in there.
Yeah.
But there is one India, right? But more than half of the people are outside the U.S. And I would say, based on that list, it looks like maybe 25% of them are outside of the
major cities.
Yeah. So so there is definitely people that will pay outside of those. Oh, that's the other thing. This is the other lesson learned from this, right? So when we looked at the simple program membership, and I think we should make this change, we were looking at, there's a couple of reasons for this, but we said, right, what makes logical sense to us, right, who can afford $99, is that it makes more sense to make a yearly and not mess with the monthly, right? Because we'll get the $99 up front and $99 pay for the year, right? Well, Bulldog membership is $20 a month. So it's even more. It would be $200 a year, right? But
that's where I originally launched the Simple Programmer membership. Actually, it was $19 a month.
But I think it makes more sense for a couple of reasons. One of them, I think that $20 a month is a payment plan. Like, so we're thinking of it as like, it just makes sense to just pay for the whole year. But $20 a month is like a payment plan for paying for the whole year. Like it's the same principle as making payment plans on the $500 program, right? So that's the reason why I'm able to get people from India and people that are in countries where it's more expensive, is because they can't afford.
They can come up with $20.
Right. They certainly wouldn't be able to come up with $200, but they can come up with $20 each month. Right. It's and that's how most people think financially, is they don't think the smart way. They think the payment plan way of, how much money can I spend every month. So that makes a lot of sense. And then and then you can still offer like yearly as a discount potentially, but the nice thing also about the payment plan here, like when you're at $20 a month, is that when I raise the price to $30 a month, it's not a big raise. It's only $10 more. This is the real beauty of it. And even when we go up to 40 again, right? But if you have something that's $100 a year and then you raise it to $200 a year, that's a lot, right? And especially if you go to $300 or $400 a year, that's a lot. But going from $10 a month to $20 a month to $30 a month, not a big raise. So that's the other thing that I think it worked really well here and is worth doing. And then the problem that we talked about was like, oh, what is the churn rate and the stick rate on it? And so if you sell someone something at $20 a month as opposed to $200 a year, right? Maybe they're going to churn out. You're going to have an average of 4 or 5 months, right? Which is probably true. But if you grandfather them in and raise the price, that churn rate is going to drop significantly, right? Especially if you keep doing that. So I think that's also the model that we might want to adopt with the Simple Programmer membership going forward.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be fine just switching it to I'd rather like we could just try switching it to $19 a month for this month. Just see what happens.
Yeah.
What I saw was that the $19 a month, going from $19 to $29 was a big jump, actually. And I'd need to look at the conversion numbers again, but it was it was much it was much harder. I thought I think I had tried initially. What I did was I did $19 a month with a cap of 50 members, and I only sent it to the most active piece of the list.
Yeah.
So like the top, and I got all 50 of those sold out. And then I raised it to $29, and I wasn't able to sell out. I expanded the segment out significantly. First I sent it to just the most active, then I bumped it out and went out another one and another one. And I think I was close to selling out that second one, but not able to sell it out. And then I went to $39 a month, and it was like crickets. I think I only sold, I don't think I sold any, or I sold just a couple. I think, and then the churn rate on the $19 is definitely, it attracts a lot more people who are marginal. And then you do get a lot more customer support requests. I mean, this is like a big ongoing debate in the membership community groups. And generally, like, the people that want to optimize for better long-term customer value and less hassle go with the annual only. And then if you kind of want to maximize it, then adding on the monthly. I know a lot of people who started off monthly, went to annual, then tried the monthly again and just were like, this is not worth it. And they went back to the annual. So
I think
there's pros and cons.
I think it depends on the market too, right? If you're on the making money online market or anything that's related to that, then the annual is going to be a lot better for two reasons. One, because people aren't thinking in terms of monthly, right? They probably have the financial competence to understand, the value. And two, it's like, it's an investment, like it's a value, like it's more of a, right. Whereas, I think the general kind of consumer type of audience is more likely to do a monthly plan. But
yeah, well, the guy that I'm thinking of in particular teaches bass lessons, so he's not in the
interesting.
Make money.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
that is kind of a long-term or commitment thing though too, that you have to like when you imagine taking bass lessons, I don't think you imagine signing up for less than a year, right?
Yeah.
But I think the other component of it too, right, is that you have to raise the price, and people have to see that you're raising the price so that they know, so that they feel like they're missing out if they don't, and that it's going to continue to raise.
Yeah. Which is why, I mean, actually, when I did the Simple Programmer membership launch, I did that. And then when I introduced the annual plan, I had a bunch of people email me and go, hey, this is cheaper than the $19 a month. Can I get on this?
Yeah.
So what I did was I just went ahead and offered it to everybody who'd already signed up, because I figured they're going to, the churn rate's going to be 60 to 90 days, or sorry, 3 to 6 months tops on those. So if we get $99 up front, I might as well do that. And only 60% of them took me up on it. So there definitely are a big chunk of people who only want to pay annual.
I think what one thing that most people don't realize, though, because I was thinking about this too in terms of membership versus like a one-time fee and whatnot in terms of churn rate, because like it's really easy to say, okay, well, because I think this is a fallacy, is to say, okay, $99 is, if you have a $10 a month program, like the churn rate will be like 4 or 5 months. So on average, your lifetime value of the customer would be $40 to $50. But if you sell a $99 for the year, you've increased your LTV on the customer. I think that's a fallacy for one important reason that everyone tends to neglect, which is that, yes, your average churn rate might be 4 to 5 months, but let's say that you have 100 people that come in, right? And so maybe on average that most of those 100 people, if you follow those 100 people, would churn out in 4 to 5 months. Okay. But you're going to have maybe 10% of people that are going to be, maybe let's say 25% of people that'll be 12 months. And then you're going to have like 10% of people that'll be 15 months. And then you'll have like 5% of people that'll
Right.
be, let's say forever, that they're going to pay you for 5 years, right? Because there'll be some people that they're just going to pay forever, right? And so now you get another 100 set of cohorts that come in, right? And what ends up happening is it's the same thing as like owning rentals for a long time, is you start to build up this base of like, you eventually get that old lady that like eventually if you own rentals for a long enough time, you'll have like a bunch of old women in there that have been there for 20 years, right? And they pay the rent on time and they're right. It's like, because eventually that's what happens. And so I think that's the same with a membership or community, is that like your churn rate may be 4 to 5 months on average, but your LTV creeps up over time, even when you don't change the price, because you start to get more loyal people that like you churn out the people that churn, but you keep the people that stay.
Right.
And eventually you have a heavier percentage of people that stay as you're growing. And so if you go from the beginning and you say, okay, well, should I do like a one-time fee? Let's say that you're going to do a lifetime membership. Okay, you pay $99, you get access to this product, or you pay a monthly, $10. At first the numbers would say, oh, no, the $99 makes sense because your LTV would be only $50 or $60 per customer, whereas your LTV here is $99. But if you play it out over time, eventually you'll pass that mark, and then the LTV will actually be higher than that $99 point.
Yeah, that happens with annual memberships too, though.
Yeah.
The stick rate on an annual membership's around 50% from what I've seen talking to people. So a 200, like the lifetime value, if you have a $99 on year one, it's going to be more like $200 to $250. That's the lifetime value.
Yeah.
So yeah, but the question is like, the only question is just, are you cutting off a lot of people on the front end by not having the monthly option?
That's the thing, and I think you are cutting off the people that the payment plan would make more sense to them. So speaking of which, like, and we can see it with like, I don't know if you've been following our Thrive Themes affiliate, right? Like even for this month, we already have 4 referrals. Like our commissions are like already like over like $220.
Okay.
And last month we had like, I don't even know what the number was. It was like $650 worth of, like, it was like 10 signups or something like that. But most of those are renewals, I think. And so as we're we're adding new people, but then a lot of people are renewing and we're continuing to get the referral.
Yeah.
So
yeah, something like Thrive is ideal because there's a huge pain of disconnect of like, even if you're not using it actively, if you take it off, like your website doesn't work anymore. So you have to rebuild your whole website.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. So, but yeah, I think we can reboot the membership and get it working. And like I said, it's not a huge time commitment. If we do the same thing, if I'm doing one Q&A call per month on the Simple Programmer, that's not a huge deal at all. In fact, we could alternate too. I could do one, you could do one, right? We could do something like that, and then creating like 4 videos per month, premium content. Also not a big deal. And we can get other people to step in and create some stuff too if we wanted to. But even if I had to do it all myself, it's like really like a day worth of work at the most to get all that in there. So
cool. Well, I'm getting all these ideas for something that I'm going to be doing in 6 months. Because I really want to do this membership. I really love the idea.
Don't get bored.
Grow your podcast network. Get the more podcasts.
It's on my list, but yeah, I've got to get the other stuff clicking along. I really think I'm going to pull out more of the shows and see if I can hand it off to somebody else.
Yeah,
and just be like, look, you can bring on basically whoever you want as panelists. You're responsible for setting up the the topics. Here's how we've been finding them. You know, if you find some other better way, we'd love to know what it is. And then, yeah, just see where we get from there.
Yeah. You got to get some more shows launching. What's your next show?
So one of my panelists on on Ruby Rogues wanted to start a data science podcast. So that's
a good one.
It's actually on my power list for today is to follow up with him.
Nice.
See. So, yeah, that's the plan there. I've also got a couple of people who are interested in being on a developer leadership podcast where we talk to issues that team leads and CEOs, you know, from one end to the other of that spectrum will run into, right? So how do you manage the work? How do you make sure it's getting done? How do you build your team? How do you keep them current? All that stuff. So
nice.
Okay. I want to start that show too. So that one's also on the docket. And I think what I'm going to do on that one is I think I'm going to find some experts in those areas and then get them on the other shows, the current shows. And that way I can kind of see how they do, and then we can kind of go from there. So then we can go, okay, you were great, you were great, you were great. Hey, you were all terrific. Can I get you all to talk to each other every week? And then see if we can make a show out of that. Cool. And I already have one person that spoke at Codebeam, and she was terrific. She gave a terrific talk. And it was funny too, because she's like, yeah, I'm not actually a programmer. And I said, yeah, I don't actually care. Right? Because what you're telling people to do will help them build better teams.
Right.
So, but yeah, so those are the next two. I need to charge up my sponsorship funnel again, because I've kind of overloaded Michelle and she hasn't gone prospecting for a few weeks. But yeah, so I guess I'm getting into my commitments now. But yeah, so I'm going to follow up with Dave on the data science podcast. I'm also going to, my plan is to add 40 new companies to the top of the funnel. And then, and that may take me all day on Monday, but that's fine. Or while I'm sitting in the airport on Sunday, we'll see. But then the other thing is that I'm going to put together a warm-up sequence for the people who are in my funnel that aren't moving. That's essentially an email course on how to sponsor podcasts.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And that way I can kind of push them through that, and it'll be like, look, I'm fleshing this out, but I wanted to kind of give you the first pass at this so that you understand what we're trying to do with the sponsorships and how it can pay off for you. And then I'll just walk them through the steps. Here's what you need to know before you even try. Here are the outcomes that you can expect, you know, and I can share anecdotes because I've got plenty of sponsors that have made it work in different ways, and then just kind of work my way through it. So, you know, these are the things that tend to pay off. These are the kinds of ways that you can, you know, kind of add to the marketing campaign yourself. Here are the things that you can ask about that a lot of podcasters have but don't offer, and yeah, just kind of go from there. So. But yeah, those are the three things that I'm planning to get done this next week, and I need to get DevRev the rest of the way up. So, but yeah, that's the plan.
All right.
I don't know if we're done or if there was something else you guys wanted to dive into.
No, unless you guys got something.
No.
Nope.
Let's see.
So I guess my thought of the week is just I'm here at PodFest and just getting out, meeting people, talking to people, getting ideas. You know, you don't have to act on them right away, but you know, I feel like my level is higher because I'm kind of gotten the creative juices running and have been connecting with people that may or may not, you know, be able to make a difference for me. So go out and connect with people. That's my thought.
My commitment will be to get a funnel created for the interview cake for the 50 interview questions next week. So I'm going to create all the videos and the emails and get that created and launched. And then we'll figure out a way to test that, to A/B test that with, I guess, UTM params, huh? So that's my commitment. And then my thought of the week, I'll just recap it, is get other people to make you money. Figure out how to make how to get that's leverage. That's the way to really build wealth, is you got to figure out how to get other people to make you money. You're never going to grow as a business, and you're never really going to make any money until you can figure out how to do that. So
cool. I think my commitment for next week will be to plan out the membership launch and what the offer is going to be and everything for this month. So, and then my thought is you can't cut your way to growth. So I got an email from a guy who's on my list, and this is something we've talked about before, but he had set up his own email server with something similar to Sendy and to save money, and he was on ActiveCampaign, got off of ActiveCampaign, set up his own email server, and then he did a promotion with an ending soon email, and a bunch of people flagged it as spam.
Oh no.
And now every email he's sending is going to spam.
Oh, great.
And so, yeah, he's trying, he seems like he's determined to dig himself out of this hole by himself, but I advised him to just go back to an email service, because this is where like they have teams. Like this is a part-time job. Is like it doesn't take many spam reports for you to get yourself into trouble. And like Google, the big one is Google, and if you get on Google's hit list, like Google's mentality is we'd rather kill 1,000 legitimate businesses than let one bad offender get through.
Yeah.
And they've done this with AdWords. I mean, this is, and with Google search and everything. This is just, they cut a very wide swath when they open up the machine guns. So, and for us, Google's 70% of our email list. So if we got on Google's bad side, it's game over. Like you can't.
Right.
So yeah. So especially with this like mission critical stuff, it does not pay to try to shave pennies. I mean, he was probably paying less than $100 a month for ActiveCampaign. So
yeah. Yeah. Don't shave, try to save money, shaving the pennies. I agree.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, on the email, Josh, the other thing that we did with Bulldog Mindset that worked out really well is we told people to add us to the whitelist on the very first email that we sent.
Okay.
To basically give them the instructions how to do that, and then said if they send us an email that says whitelist in it, that they've done it, that we will send them a free bonus on how to create passive income.
What kind of uptake are you getting on that?
Pretty good. It seems like that it's about 10% of people are sending that. So I was thinking about this a lot, and really like your funnel starts, like the best play is like so if you can increase the open rate percentage of people that join your list, then you have that's the highest leverage point that you possibly can have, right? Because that's the highest point in the funnel, right? And so when people first sign up, they're going to decide what kind of relationship they have with you and opening your emails. And so
I'd like to A/B test this.
Yeah.
I'm interested because this is like a big debate and a big ongoing debate. I think that it's probably a good thing if you can get people to do it. I would argue that probably having people just reply to you accomplishes the same thing, or is actually better. I mean, like if people just whitelist you, I'd rather have somebody reply to me rather than just whitelist. If that makes sense, right? Because that's going to be, because like you reply to real people,
right?
You whitelist email lists, right?
Yeah.
So Google's going to know that. Like the ESPs are going to know that, and they're going to. I would think the reply. I mean, a click would be good too. A reply is probably the best. Like they're looking at different signals.
If you whitelist though, then you'll be guaranteed to get into their inbox because it'll be right. That's like you're added to their contact list. But
if you reply in Google, you get added to their contact list as well.
Yeah. That's sort of. It's like a different, like it's an unknown contact as opposed to a known contact. Yeah, I'm not sure. Well, I wouldn't split hairs on it, but I would say that if you need to like whatever you do, whether you ask people to whitelist or you ask them to reply, getting that engagement and getting people to open or take action on your emails from the very, very get-go is a worthwhile thing to think about, because it makes a difference.
If you're going to offer them like a bonus for doing it, then tell them whitelist us and then hit reply.
Well, that's what he's doing. Yeah, I know. It's just kind of you're getting both.
You get both.
So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's getting both. So I think Josh's argument is that if you didn't ask them to take the extra step of whitelisting, if you just said reply and say this, then whatever you could that you'd have a higher reply rate because it's less effort.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're doing really well we do well with the blogging course in that way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, those have high open rates for those people. In fact, it'd be interesting to look at the tags for open rates for people that have taken the blogging course versus.
I can do that. I'll do that when we get off here, or I can do it. Yeah, because it'll probably take me. I'll look at the email that went out today, and compare the open rate between people that originally signed up for the blogging course.
Yeah.
Versus that won't tell us how many of them replied, but it should give us a indication.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
All right. See you.
Yep. Bye.